You are listening to
Marty and the Breaux. Question for you, man. Do you remember when we went and canvassed for Jessica Cisneros?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
that
man.
was good.
Yeah.
That was a road trip.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun, man. I actually did a video. Hold up there. Plug, shameless plug. I did a video where I was canvassing for. You can find it on Black Sheep Theory channel, find it on YouTube. So make sure you do that. But you remember what happened when we're coming back from that trip? Do you remember?
I remember we were driving the highway coming back. I guess we were in McAllen or something, and we were coming back, and you started saying you had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
You're like,
I'm talking about.
Hey, can we take the next stop? I got to go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
you remember that? And then you know what the next stop was?
The border, right? That's
the border patrol. Yeah,
border fucking patrol, man. Jesus Christ.
So we're driving down the highway, and I remember because I've been down to South Texas before, and on the way back, they don't have the immigration checkpoint right by the border. They have it like, I don't know, 50 miles away from the border. So yeah, you and I were cruising back, coming back from South Texas, and you started talking about, man, can you take the next stop? I really got to piss. I got to piss. I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. Should be something coming up here. And then we see the signs like customs and immigration, customs, whatever it was, that border patrol. So we got to pull over. And that ended up being a bigger deal than it should have been. But
it was wild, man. I thought I was going to jail, son. What you mean, bro? I had a fucking heart attack, bro.
Oh, absolutely.
God,
yeah.
I'm reliving it. Oh, fuck that. Fuck the border. I ain't going back.
Because you had like 5 joints in your duffel bag or something.
Don't slander me. It's not true. Okay, I did.
Or like blunts, whatever, spliffs.
There were joints. There were definitely there were spliffs. They had some tobacco. It was half weed, half tobacco. Because I'm poor, so we make that weed stretch, son, over here on this end. But
so that's why you were freaking out, because you thought, oh my god, we got drugs in the car.
If you weren't there, man, look. So we pull up to the border patrol thing, and I realize I'm like, oh shit, I got mad weed on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm black. I'm going to jail at the border. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, they finna have me in one of these cages, bro.
Because it was at night too.
It was what?
It was at night.
Yeah, it was at night. You're right, man. I was having a motherfucking heart attack, bro. It was terrible, man.
You were.
I'll never goddamn I can't do. Hey, let's
go.
No,
you freaked out. You freaked out. No,
man, more than go to jail, man. On the border.
I know. And so they asked us to get out of the car because they had a dog that comes around, and evidently the dog said, hey, this car's got some drugs in it. And so they asked us to step out of the car, and we step in this little holding bay, and you have to go to the bathroom really bad, and you're freaking out on top of this. So you start asking, hey, can I use the restroom? And, the poker face guy in the uniform's like, no, we don't have restrooms for you. And then your anxiety goes from 10 to 11, 12.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm about to piss myself and go to jail, bro. This is whack, man. I was so mad, man. I was so mad about that.
And they take the car, they drive away with the car. So we're like, car's gone. We're sitting in this holding bay. You got to pee. And finally, I guess I don't know if I co-signed for you to get permission to go to the bathroom, but they called 2 other officers over, right?
Yeah.
To escort you to the bathroom.
I thought they was gonna beat my ass in that hole. I didn't know what was gonna happen now. It was like they finna beat the shit out. Oh, you want to use the restroom? Yeah, come on. Come here. Restroom right back here. Come here. I was like,
that's actually what I was thinking, because I was in the little holding bay, and I kept thinking to myself, oh, shit, this is about to go really bad. He's getting his ass kicked right now by these 2 border patrol officers. What can I do? Anyway,
not a fucking thing, right? That's what it would have been.
No.
They would have let you go on about your merry fucking business too. They would have been like, "Excuse us, sir, we took care of that little problem for you." They would have hit you.
That hitchhiker, you gotta be that hitchhiker. You're free to go, sir.
Well, it fucked me up, man. Yeah, no, it was. Yeah, man. I haven't been that scared in a while, man. It was. Yeah, man. I remember. Matter of fact, I remember.
High
Yeah,
anxiety.
when we left, so the whole time that one of the guys was just being really what it was is one of the guys, he was just being ridiculously like stern and just like it was just kind of ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like what's very annoying is, to me with the border thing, it's like, well, obviously I'm from America. I don't, you know what I mean? Like regardless of the ID, regardless, you know what I'm saying? Like irregardless, as a nigga, not black, Obviously, does that make sense? Like they don't make them like me in Mexico.
No, they don't.
No cap. No disrespect to Mexicans or nothing, but it's not. Whatever, man. It was so it really annoyed me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was just like, God damn, man. Like, if you weren't there, bro, I don't care what you say. They would have locked my black ass up, bro. You know what I'm saying? They just didn't want to hassle this old white man. It was like, I'm probably, I don't know, man. They would have took my black ass to jail. I don't care what you say, man. My black ass would have went straight to jail. Do not.
Well, yeah. Well, what ended up happening, we were there probably 45 minutes or something, and I was trying to reassure you. You got back from the bathroom safely, thank goodness. And I was trying to reassure you because when you were in the bathroom, I actually talked to the guy. Talked to the guy that was standing there.
I was just supposed to pee, and you know what I'm saying. Of course, I was like, man, almost guts started bubbling. You know what I'm saying? I was like, God damn, man, because my nerves were so bad. Yeah, I was like, I said I was just gonna pee. I can't be in here too long, so I'm trying to pinch and pee at the same time. Like let's get it going. So.
Well, while you were doing all that dancing in front of the urinal or whatever, I was talking to the guy, and I was like, my friend, he has really bad anxiety. I think you might there. I think he's got some. I don't even know if I said this, but I might have said you've got some joints in your duffel bag.
Yeah.
It's for anxiety. It's really bad. And anyway,
Gary,
I don't know. He kind of gave me a little signal like it's going to be okay or something. Yeah. He gave me some little body language to let me know it was going to be okay. So when you came back, I felt better that I could reassure you. And probably we waited there another 10 minutes. They brought back the car and they said, okay, you're free to go. Yeah. And what we figured out later is they take the car and they run it through a full auto body X-ray. And what they're looking for is drugs in the wheel wells, in the cushions. They're looking for large quantities of drugs, not 5 joints.
Yeah, man. Look, I'm telling you,
Thank
man.
Goodness.
They would. I still stand by. They would have locked my ass up. You know what I'm saying? Had I been
if
by
I
myself,
hadn't been there.
Man. What? Man, because I think the dude like kind of had there's discretion, you know what I'm saying? They have discretion, obviously, right? You know what I'm saying? It's up to their discretion, you know what I'm saying? And I think had you not been there, you know what I'm saying, that I would have, they possibly just to say fuck this nigga, you know what I'm saying? That I truly, I really do think so.
Way.
I'd be surprised. Well, it is what it is, right? So.
It is what it is. Well, we are going to be talking a little bit more about the justice system in episode 4. This is episode 4, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Yeah. And justice is anything but blind, I think is what we're subtitling that. So I want to I've always been curious a little bit more about your experience going to jail. You've told me little bits here and there in our conversations. Yeah. And one thing before we get into it, though, Marty, I want to be sensitive to this idea that we have the show together. We have this podcast. We talk about a lot of different topics. And some of the topics some of the things you talk about are pretty, pretty sensational, you might say, in a sense. And I don't want it to ever be like I'm trying to sensationalize your horrific experiences. I mean, this is all we're trying to share information here.
Definitely. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, it's drama filled. Let's just put it like that, man. Very unstable, man. But thinking about it, man, where to start with justice, I guess kicking it off, my first interaction
running
with
the law.
Yeah, I can think back to I remember I was about 12. It was the police visited my house for a domestic argument, my mom and dad, they were arguing, right? This is back, we were staying in happy home duplexes at the time. You know, shout out to, you know, A-Leaf, Southwest, SWAT. Yeah, but we were staying at happy home duplexes. I never forget. They called, the cops were called, and I must have been somewhere around 12, 13 or something around there, maybe about 12. I remember I had attitude at this time. I was like, you know, I remember I was annoyed that they were fighting, you know, and I didn't want to deal with it. And when the cops came, I decided to leave the house. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I'm leaving. I walked out, you know what I'm saying? Because I was done. You know, I didn't want to talk to nobody. And what I remember was, it was the Asian cop. I remember walking out the house, and the way he, I'll never forget the way he, you know, he kind of ran up on me, and he kind of like, you know, got ready to stop me from leaving. And I remember as a kid, I remember that feeling like,
what's happening?
Yeah, they over there. You know, in my mind, does it make sense? Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
so I'm just kind of like, you know, and I kind of size. I don't run from them, but I kind of just keep walking. You know, kind of. I don't know. I remember that feeling of like, what's this dude doing? You know, and I walk, and he grabs my arm. You know, what I'm saying, and they put me in the cop car, and it was all a whole ordeal. But that was the first time, my first, you know, run in with police. I was like 12, and you know, I didn't go to jail, but they did. You know, I came out the house. They just put me in the car. They put me in cuffs, put me in the car, and it was a whole ordeal. And I don't. To be honest with you, it's kind of hard to remember. You know, I remember sitting in the car and crying and kind of looking out, and you know, but you know, it's a
and this is your neighborhood, your neighbors, everybody's right in front of everybody that lives around you.
Like, now that
you know, everybody's looking out the window.
Now that you're saying it, I guess when I was younger, it's not something that really registered to me that was what's happening. You know, it's probably what was happening. But now that you're talking about it, definitely they're probably looking out the windows. Yeah, you know, and maybe not actually in my neighborhood. It's not that uncommon. When I see the police, I look the other way. You know what I mean? Like, I'm seeing them hemming somebody up. I'm like, okay. I'm not gonna go over there in that house. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, though, we have the cell phones and stuff, so it's hopefully it's different now. You gotta, you know, your neighbor's keeper. But
so you didn't go to jail that time, but
no.
Further on down the road, you would go to jail.
Yeah,
what were the circumstances surrounding that, and just as much as you feel comfortable talking about?
Yeah, man.
I mean, was it? It was a felony. I know that much, but what happened?
So I'm probably not gonna go too deep in detail because it's just, you know, it's wild. It's a wild story like that. But I guess I could even back up further than that for me. Like, to be honest with you, man, like looking back at since that moment when I was 12, you know, I kind of had I've been running. I had issues with the cops ever since, really, right? You know what I'm saying? Just, you know, run-ins in the neighborhood, and you know what I'm saying, like whether it be, you know, even if I was, you know, skipping school one day or something, you know, in school, there's school police, you know what I mean? There was always, you know, looking back now, there's a lot more incidents with the police, and it kind of just, you know, I remember I can see how it shaped, you know, my, you know, my direction in life, right? And I guess for me, what I got in trouble for, it's not like, just being, you know, completely honest and transparent about it, it's not like this is the first time I did dirt and, you know, got locked up. I was in the streets already, you know what I'm saying? By that time I was already thugging. I was already out here just trying to make some money, you know what I'm saying? Cause it's, like I said, I remember trying to get a job. I couldn't get a ID at the time because it's really hard to get around. Like, Houston's huge. You don't have a car. It's really hard to get around. You know, the bus don't even run till a certain time in certain places, blah, blah, blah. Right. So I had no ability really to get a job, didn't have the support system, right? You know, and so I was out here in the
so
streets.
We're talking 16, 17, 18-year-old range. You're in high school, basically.
Well, this is since yeah, for sure. Like, you know, really I started kind of running the streets around 14, you know, so 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. You know, like that whole time I was just kind of thugging. And I guess the time where I got locked up, man, was actually after I had kind of put the street life away. And I told you about this. It was right after my mom passed away in 2008, February 19th. And I had joined the Navy and just try to get out the streets, you know, because like I said, I had been thugging for a while. When she passed away, I just kind of want to switch it up because I was like, she's dead. You know, I kind of, you know, the last time she saw me, I was
just made you rethink.
The last time she saw me, I was a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like we you know, like we weren't on good speaking terms when she passed. It was just, you know, it was just like, at the very least, I can graduate high school, you know, because by this time I had dropped out. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna get back in high school. Let me try and knock something out, right, for mom, you know. So I tried to get my life together, you know, join the Navy and all that. And the next year, I'm sorry, on her birthday, that following, she died February, and her birthday is in June, right? June 19th. So Juneteenth, I got shot on, in my neighborhood on Club Creek, shout out Southwest again, right? But yeah, so it was just one of those nights where I couldn't sleep, and it was like 10 o'clock. I had fallen asleep earlier in the day, and I couldn't sleep late, right? So I got up and I just went to go take a walk, and yeah, man. Long story short, I don't, it's kind of hard to explain because really it happened so quickly. I was walking down the street and I was walking on.
So wait, so the day you got shot and when you ended up in jail, those are connected events.
Very connected. Now, exact, because what I did was relapse, and you learn all these things when you relapse and recidivism. It was just relapse into negative street behavior, right? Because like I told you, at this time, like we just discussed in previous podcasts, like I had the time where I had just relapsed into negative stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I had got back into high school and tried to get my life back on track by this point. But after joining the Navy, I'd swore in, I was ready to go. But after getting shot from this random dude, man, I couldn't go to the Navy. Like I couldn't go to basic because I had an injury, and it's like you can't go train the Navy.
And where did you get shot?
I got shot in my left in the kidney. So
from the back or the front?
Like it just went straight through. It went straight through and it just hit the kidney. Like went straight through the side.
What was that? What is that like? I mean, get shot, are you just immediately kind of go into shock? Like what is going on? It burns.
It's hard to. All right, so I guess I can't tell you other than like go into the story, right? So I was walking down the street and some guy asked me for a cigarette. I remember very clearly. I told him I didn't have a cigarette. I did have a cigarette. He didn't know that. I didn't pull him out. Maybe he was watching me for longer. It's long, looking back, there's so many scenarios in my mind now, right? You know what I'm saying? But I said I don't have any cigarettes and I kept walking. And then I remember as I'm walking, like I said, I was distracted with my mom. I was just distracted that night. And I heard him again. Like I stayed on Club Creek. It's like Club Creek and there was Beach Nut. And I stayed on Corporate and there's a street called Beach Nut. And then across that is the street Club Creek. And I just got caught slipping. I normally, I normally am a lot more aware on that street. I don't know. I know the area I was in and I wasn't doing, it was just one of those days, I shouldn't, whatever. So I'm walking the street.
Let your guard down.
Exactly. A lot of things going on. Exact, man, and I always, whatever. Dude, I hear somebody else again behind me, it's like, hey, hey, dude, you could tell he's from New Orleans because of his accent. He was like, say, hey. And I turn back around. He's like, why don't you give me everything you got? You hear me? That's how he told me. And I was, he had the gun right in my stomach, and I was, and what I remember most, I just remember being like, I remember doing I remember that feeling of being like, son of a bitch, this dude about to rob me, and when I feel like when I did that, I saw him kind of look at me like, what nigga, and just immediately shot. Like, so he didn't even take anything. It happened so quick. I didn't actually give him anything, and he shot me. It was just like it was just like, give me everything you got. And I feel like I'm pretty sure I did do I was feeling like, fuck, I don't even think I had enough time to move. I don't know. Maybe I didn't move fast enough for the dude. I don't know. Maybe he was going to shoot me either way. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But he just immediately shot, he immediately shot. And as soon as the shot, was ringing, I turned around and I just start running. I immediately turned around and started running. It wasn't like the movies where you shot and you fall back and all that, It didn't knock me off my feet, I didn't, and I guess the feeling it felt like fire on the inside. I don't know how else to say it other than it felt like I was burning on, what I'm saying? Burning on the inside. Yeah. It just felt like I was burning in my stomach. Like, I don't know if, you ever been in a real desperate situation where you get those terrifying butterflies where it's like you think you're going to die, that kind of feeling in your chest. That was there too. So it was like, it hurt and my stomach was like,
yeah. And adrenaline. I'm sure adrenaline shot immediately through your system.
Oh man, I ran. I was gone. You know what I'm saying? Took off to, there was a stop and go on the corner, like Beach Nut and Club Creek, or I think it's a stop and go. So I made it to the stop and go, and I remember I run in there. Mind you, I think I'm dead. I think there's no saving me at this point. I've been shot, bro. I don't know what to think. So I remember I run in there, and I walk up onto the counter like, hey man, I've been shot, man. Can I get some water? And I remember dude being like, oh shit, yeah, this right. I was like, thank you, man. So I walk to the room back, I get the water, and I remember I go out to the front of the, how gas stations have the glass front window or whatever, right? And there's like a little,
Mhm.
it's like the glass front and there's brick at the bottom or whatever, right? To hold the window up. And so I'm sitting on
Yeah.
like that little ledge, and then, the
Yeah.
small little ledge where you have, I remember I'm sitting there drinking this water on the outside of the gas station. I'm genuinely like I never looked at it because in my mind, I imagine a hole this big. Like, what I'm saying? Like, I'm freaking out. Like, it hurts. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm about to die, I'm like, I'm just
Right.
thinking, so I remember
Well,
this black dude.
I mean, to be fair to you, you could have died, so yeah, I mean, you don't know at that point in time.
Yeah.
You just know that you've been shot and you're freaking out, and who knows how serious it is at that point. So yeah, you're not wrong to think I could die.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I was freaking the fuck out, to be honest with you. And there's a black dude, this big black dude. It's funny. I remember this dude's face. Like he in my opinion, basically really saved my life because I asked him for his phone. And I called Miss Tisha. Shout out Miss Tisha. I love you. She was a lady who took me in after my mom passed away. And what I'm saying, like, I'm pretty much homeless, so she gave me a place to stay. I was a kid. I ain't pay no rent. She just, was a really amazing woman from New Orleans. That's why I got mad love for New Orleans. Even I got shot from there for New Orleans. That's, that happens in the streets, right? You know what I'm saying? I got mad love for my people from it. Anyway, but so yeah, so I oh man, shout out Miss Tisha. I'm sorry, I'm thinking about this phone call. So I remember I get on the I'm sorry, I'm reminiscing now. It's making me a little emotional about it. So because I got niggas shot and shit, right? So I remember I get on the phone. Like I do ask this dude for the phone. He lets me see it, and I call the house, and Adriana, my little sister, Miss Tisha's daughter, she picks up, and I was like, hey, how you doing? Can you put Miss Tisha on? And I don't want to tell her I'm shot. You know what I'm saying? She's she was my little sister at the time, right? She's kind of being a little brat. I don't know what she was doing. She was just talking some kind of shit. She's very sassy. I love her to death, right? I was just like, could you please put Miss Tisha on the phone? Like I remember I got real desperate. I can remember the feeling, and you could tell like she was like, and she ran over there. I could, she was. She could tell. I could tell she could tell something was wrong. And I as soon as I heard Miss Tisha's voice, man, as soon as I heard, I'm about to tear up. I just broke down. I was like, I've been shot. I think I'm, and she was like, oh Lord, like she was, oh man, she was freaking out, and immediately came my boy, shout out Toriano, like, damn, pause it, bro. All right, we had to pause. I thought I was going to tear up.
Do not.
I didn't. I almost. I thought I was going to drop when I was like, wait, hold up. All right, I'm good. All right, no. So basically, I tell her I'm shot. She freaks out. My boy, shout out Toriando, her son. Good friend from high school. Like I said, he, his mom's who let me in. Live with them. So they all come. He comes running down the street. You know what I'm saying? The homie trying to hold it down. You know what I'm saying? She comes driving down the street, and the dude who I use his phone, because I didn't even think to call 911. I don't. I just want to call Miss Tisha. I thought I was dead, bro. I really, what I'm saying? Does that make sense? I didn't think I was gonna make it. I was like, I just got shot, bro. It was right. He was right here. You know what I'm saying? Like in my mind, I'm like, ah, damn it, I fucked up. Like that's it. I got caught lacking, right? So he called somebody called 911. Somebody, because an ambulance came by, you know what I'm saying? By this time, like the exact same time Tisha's pulling up, the ambulance came, you know what I'm saying? And they're trying to put me in there. And I remember seeing them, and man, it was emotional. It was wild, man. And I made it to the hospital, and the police come, ask questions. They were so apathetic. So like they didn't give a fuck, man. You could tell they thought it was like gang shit. They asked me if it was gang shit. Like, you in a gang? It was this gang related? I was like, nah, I don't even know the dude. Dude tried to rob me. I got shot. They're like, all right, we'll give you a call. We'll call you, for an update. They never got a call back. They never hit me up about it. 100% that shit was marked as gang violence. That was just another statistic up. I feel it in my, by the way he was talking to me, I was just like, all right, bro. All right. So.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm in the hospital and it hurt like hell, like, I don't know. I guess getting shot fucks up your abs or something. Or maybe I was just so tense.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
know for sure. Yeah.
I couldn't like sit up. I couldn't sit up for like 3 days. Like I literally didn't have the ability. Like I did not have the physical ability to sit up. You know what I'm saying? And like, I remember my abs, like they kind of, I think they're shaped funny now since then. Like they have like a weird kind of curve to them now. You know, weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Wow.
yeah, it was weird. So that
Yeah,
that
yeah, that's something else.
so
So how did this?
that
So that
when
kind of led. Go
I
ahead.
couldn't, yeah, exactly. I couldn't go to the Navy anymore, and so for me, it was just like that's it. You know, like I'm supposed to be in the streets. This is meant to be. This is a sign that I'm not supposed to make it out. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it felt like to me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I internalized. I remember thinking that. I remember being at the house. I remember, that my what is it? My recruiter calling me,
Mhm.
and I think he actually might have visited me in the hospital too. Actually, I remember my recruiter coming in, and he was just like, "Damn, man," you know what I'm saying? And it's like, you can't, you're shot, you can't go. I got shot June. I was supposed to leave for a basic like in July, and I wasn't gonna be able to heal up and go. They were like, you're gonna have to reapply, retake the ass. You have to redo all this shit. You know what I'm saying? Later again, and I was just like, all right, bro. I didn't.
Yeah.
In my mind, I was just like, this is over. You know what I'm saying? This is a done deal. We're not doing this again. You know what I'm saying? And I started tugging 10 times harder. To be honest with you, I went back right as soon as I healed up. I was like, all right, we back out here. I went right back to the streets, man. I actually went even harder, you know what I'm saying, than I did
Mm.
before, and end up getting caught up on a case. I don't want to go into detail on that, but yeah, man. Long story short, got caught up, got locked up, and
Let,
that's
let- let
where.
me
Go ahead.
let me. One thing that I think is really useful about the conversations like this with you is that we talk about Marty and the Bro talks about looking at situations as they are not two sided; they're a sphere,
Hmm,
and they have multiple perspectives that you can look at them.
hmm,
And one of the things that's interesting about you is you have been on two two ends of the justice system. Not of the justice, not like you've been in law enforcement yourself, but I'm saying
yeah.
you have been essentially a criminal,
Hmm.
and now you're not a criminal at all.
Yeah.
But you have that perspective. You have that perspective that somebody who's truly a lifelong criminal
Hmm,
doesn't have because they haven't been on the other side of that sphere.
yeah.
Whereas you really have an ability to look at these things in multiple dimensions now, especially just everything you've been through. So that's why I think this is really particularly useful to hear a story like this. So anyway, you end up in jail
Yeah.
and
So that and
county jail, right, or city
so
jail,
this
or
so this is where it gets really complicated, right? Well, not even just complicated, it gets real dense at this point, right? So I'm just thugging in the streets, and I end up, of course, you get caught up. You're in the streets, you get caught up, right? So I went to jail behind some shit, and I went to jail, but don't mistake me going to jail for it, meaning like I got in trouble and went in front of a judge. Judge was like, "You got in trouble. This is your sentence." Bangs a gavel, and now I have to carry out the sentence. That's what most people think of when they think of like going to jail. That's the process, right? But that's rarely ever what happens. That's not how it
Mhm.
happens, right? What happens is you go to jail and you sit in there waiting to be seen by the judge. You just fighting your case, like waiting for, they call it discovery, all that stuff. They kind of just reset your court date, and you sit in jail. If you can't afford bail, you sit in jail waiting for a judge to hear your case. Then you be sentenced. So what happens a lot of times is, what I'm saying, you're sitting in jail before the innocent or guilty verdict is met. And a lot of people,
Mhm.
regardless of whether it's a um violent or non-violent crime, a lot of times that's not the deciding factor. What the deciding factor really is do you have enough money to get out or not, right? It's more of a tax, right? So what happened with me
So they
is,
set bail for you,
yeah, I had a
but
bail, but of course I couldn't know who's going to pay the bail. Yeah, so I couldn't afford bail. And what the complications of that, so for example, like I sat in jail for 2 years fighting my case. I wasn't sentenced to 2 years. I didn't go to jail and the judge was like, "This is bad, you have 2 years." Bang. No, I sat in jail for 2 years waiting for a judge to give me time. You know what I'm saying? Just sitting there, just they call it dead time, you know what I'm saying, when you're locked up, right? You know what I'm saying? Especially if, it doesn't mean anything. Like for me, in my opinion, like I got probation, right? I got, because it was my first ever, major offense, my first offense as an adult. So I had, got some juvenile issues, but at this time I was just turned 18 or something. And 17, whatever, it doesn't matter. But so I got this is my first, adult offense. So usually unless you murder somebody, they're gonna give you probation. You know what I'm saying? So, I got probation, for my first offense. And if I could afford bail, I would have got that exact same probation sentence 2 years earlier. Does that make sense? So instead of, if I could have bailed out, I would have probably been reset, a couple times, been able to be out of jail, establishing my life, so I can prove to the judge, like, hey, because you got to go to the front of the judge eventually. Now, now imagine if I'm behind bars the whole time. So when I go in front of the judge, I'm in orange. You know what I'm saying? I'm going in front of the judge as a criminal already, right? Versus if I had been able to bail out, you know what I'm saying? And I could go in front of the judge in my nice little suit, show him that I've been working since I got in trouble because I bailed out, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, this is what I've been doing since I got out of jail. I did do wrong here, or I didn't do wrong here, or whatever. But either way, this is what I've been trying to do right here. And that's what a lot of white people, that's what happens with a lot of rich people. That's kind of already what happens with people who can afford lawyers and, you know what I'm saying, bail, get out of bail. That's what happens with people like me who can't afford bail. You just sit in jail, literally, like I said, for 2 years, and then you end up, signing a plea bargain. And they do it on purpose. So that way, you get desperate enough to sign for whatever. It's just like, you see a light at the end of the tunnel. That's what that paper is. It's like, I'll sign. Give me that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just sitting here. Because you're just sitting there, you know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like you don't know. And you have no information about what's going on. There's just no information. It's not like, it's not like you can watch, get on the internet and look up something. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that easy, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
everything is on hold. You're in
your life is on pause. Yeah, your life is on pause, bro. And the world's going around you. Everything's going. Things are moving around you. It's the weirdest feeling, and it feels like it's one of the weirdest feelings ever in jail, man. Like, because you can feel like, if you ever see like somebody's been in jail, like anybody from the hood knows, niggas been locked up a while, man. You can tell like their youth is like preserved, because it's almost like your life is on pause. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't live as much, so their skins, like, like older people look younger if you've been sitting in jail the whole time. So you're sitting there working out and just sitting in something, right? You know what I'm saying? Versus out living your life, stuff like that. And getting sunlight. You get a lot less sun in jail, right? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like it's your life, if you're on pause, like literally it's like pausing someone on TV, and it's a human being. You're just kind of like in limbo, because think about it, nothing moves forward. You don't get anything accomplished really in jail. You know what I'm saying? You're just stuck at that moment. So since I go to jail, and that's what it feels like to me now. Like, it feels like I've been stuck in that, that summer after high school, because that's when I went to jail. It feels like I've been stuck in that summer for 10 years now. You know what I'm saying? Like I haven't been able to really move forward past that, right? Because that's when I got in trouble. So a lot of things were put on a halt in that moment. Like, you know what I'm saying? For example, with going to jail, when I went to jail, I never had a driver's license, for example, right? And even though I didn't have a driver's license, they still suspended my license, my non-existent license. That was just a stipulation of the probation. They were like, okay, you have to have, it's just like, they just blanket. These are all the things, they don't, there's no nuance, right? You know what I'm saying? It's just a blanket.
Just a checkbox that they do.
Exactly. Like, no driving for you either. You know what I'm saying? It's for somebody like me who already, it's not like I have a large support system. You know what I'm saying? In Houston, if you don't have a car, you're not going to make it. What I mean, you're not going to make it, at all. You have to have a vehicle in Houston to get around and live and be it's not really very good public transportation. You're going to starve and die poor. You know what I'm saying? So, I legally can't drive. And how do you unsuspend a license that doesn't exist? It's one of those things where to this day is still a problem, because I don't have a license still, because it's just one of those things where it's just mad red tape. You know what I'm saying? And something that's all stemming from, being in, getting locked up. It affects so many different aspects of your life, and then imagine trying to talk to somebody about this. It's just like, there's no point. It's like
No, I know you get frustrated sometimes when you try to explain to people that you don't have a license, and everybody's response is, well, why don't you just go get a license?
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, all right,
and you're like, oh, you know what? I didn't think of that. Yeah. Thank you so much for helping me out. I should just go get a license then. Let me do that. Just wait there. I'm gonna go get a license. We'll get this fixed up.
It's ridiculous.
No, it's not. It doesn't work that way.
Exactly. It's just my license that doesn't exist is suspended. So I have to unsuspend a license number that doesn't exist. Like, people don't kind of like that part's lost on people, where it's like, and I'm not the only person that deals with this. There's like public defenders that like specialize in this area. You know what I'm saying? This specific thing. God. That's how bad. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I met people like, no, that's what we do. We make sure get people their driver's licenses. And I'm like,
Because you actually, I thought it was, if you fast forward to, I think last year, you did go in front of a judge because you made an appointment or something to get that problem fixed. You still don't have a license as of the taping of this show.
Yeah. So
but you have made
paper.
progress. But you remember when you went in front of or you were talking to the clerk or something like that?
I went in front of a judge. No,
looked up something.
Yeah, so what I did was I made it to the point where I went in front of a judge and got like signed thing like, hey, unsuspend this guy's license. You know, it's like a thick paper about this thick, and it's got my whole history of being, you know, getting in trouble with driving, because all my arrests since that one and lockup, since the probation, every arrest since then has just been traffic violations. All of them. Just been, you don't have a license, you shouldn't be behind this vehicle. You know, that's it. But anyway, but I trying to rectify that. I bring that to the DPS office, or to the you know, DPS or DMV, whatever you call it, right? You know what I'm saying? And their response to me is, I understand, but that's a whole different department. He doesn't have the power to do that, you know, to unsuspend this license. That's what I was told. And I was just like, okay, I don't understand. So what, you know, like, this is a judge. Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. Look at this. Look at this. That's a city seal there. You know what I mean? They were like, yeah, that's not this department. It's not. He doesn't do this over here. I was like, well, then who does this? You know? And they were like, oh, you gotta. And it was this at this time COVID happened. So the steps after that point was like I had to make another appointment. But like I said, that's when the lockdowns had happened. You remember? I don't know if you remember. It's exactly when that happened. Just terrible timing on that. But you know. Like, think about the fact that, you know, it's been a 10-year, a decade-long process trying to deal with this, you know, license. And it's, you know, it affect, like I said, this all stems from this one, you know, situation with incarceration, and and being locked up. It's all a pretext to it's all a pretext to stopping you, right? And getting.
Well, wasn't there one moment when somebody was asking you, so why do you need a license? And you're like, because, and you pulled up some case or something and showed them.
Oh no, okay, I see what you're saying. I see. So that was I had to get the judge to sign that paper. I had to give a reason to why I had to give a reason why I need a license, why I need to drive. I was trying to get an occupational driver's license, right? You know,
okay.
And there's a study done by Princeton. This is a study I found, like Princeton does a study every year, seeing what the biggest barriers to upward mobility is, and consistently every year, the number one barrier to mobility they find is transportation, lack of access to transportation every time. You know, like, you know, people can't, you know, get to where the opportunities are. That's simple as that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, I cited that as my reason. You know what I mean? I was like, well, you know, they're like, why? I was like, why? Because science. I don't know what, you know, like, that's why. I don't, you know, it's just, I'm going to die pouring in pain, you know, and there's nothing I can do about it right now. I would really like to do. Yeah, let me be a pause. All right, yeah. So after I cited this Princeton study, the judge and the count, first the clerk, the lady, I just give it to her and then she gives it to the judge. You know, she read it. She didn't like it, I think, actually. She was kind of like, I don't know. She was thinking more of like a personal reason. But I told her, I was like, no, I'm not. She actually, if I'm not mistaken, she kind of hinted towards me changing it. And I was just like, no, I'm leaving that, because that's what the truth is, right? And then when it got to she was like, all right, whatever, you know, I'm do what I want, right? So,
whatever, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll be back in jail, and so you'll be back in jail in a week.
exactly, right? So when I finally got in front of the judge, you know, I see him reading through it. He said, no, you know how you old white people are. Gotta look at it from over here. So he's looking at the thing, you know, and he asks, he reads the Princeton study, and he's like, is this true? Like I said, you know, there's transportation being the biggest barrier towards upward mobility. I was like, yes, sir. It's, you know, very true. And he was like, oh, okay. Well, and I kind of started explaining to my story. You know, he was just like, because he started looking at my history of driving record, and he noticed it was just driving without it's literally driving with license invalid, driving license suspended, driving license suspended, driving license suspended, driving license suspended, you know, because and he's just like, why do you keep driving? I was like, sir, like I can't, I have, and like there's not enough public transportation. You have to drive out here. I promise you, man. Those last ones you see, I was stopped on my moped, and he looks at me, and he's literally like, moped? You know, like kind of like he's like, you could see he was just like, wait, what? Because he sees all these traffic infractions, and I'm explaining to him, I was like, sir, I've been stopped here 4 times on my moped, man. You know, I know it's legal to drive. To I think you can ride things under 50 cc's, and you don't have to have a driver's license, right? And I'm explaining to him all these things, and he's just listening. He kind of, you know, judges, they don't want to hear all that shit, so he cuts me off real quick. He's just like, all right, and you know, he's like, you can kind of tell he's just like, this is stupid, you know, like. You kind of tell on his face, he was just like, give this kid a fucking license, you know, like, you know, he's trying to, you know,
what's kind of interesting though, is he's a judge, and theoretically he's seeing situations like this nonstop. You think he'd be a little more aware of this information.
Yeah. Well,
I guess not.
I think, well, I found it's not that surprising that people don't know things like this, especially because like, even with me, like, you know, you kind of, you know, most of us don't seek the information. We just listen to what we're told. Like even the people listening to this podcast, most of them aren't going to go look up that Princeton study. They just heard me say it. Now they're going to tell other people exactly what we said. Right. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of what people know is just what some shit they heard. And most shit people hear is wrong. You know what I'm saying? So the judge is probably in his mind. It's, you know, he knows. He sees the statistics of black people getting in trouble for this, that, and the third, and that's probably where his, you know, he doesn't think about the nuance, you know, side of that, the, you know, the why or
no, and he's probably got white hair and been doing that job a long time.
Exactly,
he's
definitely that guy.
He's seen it all. He's jaded. He doesn't care.
It does exactly. Like you could tell, like it wasn't like when he heard my story, you know, like judges, and I don't know if they're supposed to be like this, but it seems like they don't, you know, like I guess they treat everything on a case by case basis, right? Something like that. Like they don't. It doesn't seem like. I guess. I mean, well, isn't that? I think that's weird though. So the reason why I think that's weird is, you know, if I notice like a pattern somewhere, you know, in cases or in issues, or if it's just nothing but black kids coming through, you know what I'm saying? I would kind of question. I'd be like, hey, do we have money for studies or figure out what's going on in this area? Why is this happening? Like, you know. You get what I'm saying? Like there should be some kind of nuance, like, you know, like, I don't know, you know, like some kind of bell ringing. We're like, okay, all right, maybe we can, instead of just banging the gavel, we can try to, you know, stop this before it gets to me, right? You know what I'm saying? Like you would think.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh my God. Yeah, you're dreaming. I was kind of interested to hear you talk about the experience in jail from a human standpoint. I know that you've mentioned sometimes about how you had to get really good at learning to read body language and all the different personalities that were there, personalities of the other people that were basically in your shoes, and then the guards also.
Yeah.
What was that? There were some life lessons that came out of the experience that were bigger than just the, you know, the punishment or the whatever.
Yeah, man. So there was man. That made me a man. To be honest with you,
were the guards just all like dicks from the start, or were
for
some
sure,
of them nice? Or
no, man. So for the most part, man, you know, I mean, yeah, ain't really no quote unquote nice COs, man. Maybe whatever. So what I really learned in there, man, was like I said, it taught me how to be a man. You're first of all, I was alone, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, because in jail, you know, nobody does your time with you, right? You know what I'm saying? There's little isms you learn while you're in there. And so my first, I like to tell people, my first went to jail, they sat my ass down for 2 years, right? You know what I'm saying? They weren't playing with me, is what I like to tell people, you know? So I sat in 701 San Jacinto. I start off on the 3rd floor. And it's like, it was like the higher up you go in floors, the 7 floors, the more rowdy it gets. Let's put it like that, right? And they call it the 7th floor gladiator tank. You know, so, you know, I was hearing about it from the 3rd floor. God. They were like, yeah, it's just a bunch of young, they just throw a bunch of young niggas up there, whatever. I'll get to there because I made it there. So we'll get to the 7th floor, right? But, so I was in 3D2, so it's 3rd floor, D pod, tank 2, right? And it was a tank full of old schools, like, you know, older black dudes and older, you know, it was mostly blacks and Mexicans in jail, right? You know what I'm saying? There's like always like 1 or 2 white people in there. And that was a really wild experience. Like I said, it's my first time really sitting in jail. So I'm in here And I guess I lucked up by first going to a tank with older dudes because you can tell there's a little more democracy and there's a little more like for a perfect way to describe that or a example for that is so toilet paper, right? Every day the COs or the guards bring in toilet paper, 3 rolls of toilet paper for the whole pod for like 42 people in the tank, right? And for the whole tank, like 42 or so, the tank bunk, something like that. So everybody has there's 3 rolls of toilet paper. And this tank, what they would do is they put the toilet paper on top of the TV and like a Democrat. So anybody that wants toilet paper, you just go get the toilet paper, right? And and it was, that was the first way I seen it, and that kind of set the tone of like, okay, we're kind of, it's more of a cooperative. There's no beef here. There wasn't as much. There wasn't extortion. Let's put it like that. You weren't like, I didn't see a lot of people like, say, hey, nigga, give me, some off your commissary, whatever, right? Stealing from bags until this one dude came in there. There was a whole race riot on that floor, like, because the Mexicans, like, I met a bunch of Houstones. Houstones are just this, Hispanic, prison gang, and saying some dudes from, dudes was locked up in the county. And shout out Houstones, man. It's there was some real, for real. They held it down. They taught me how to eat in there, for real, man. The Houstones held it down for me. I like Houstones. But anyway, so I used to eat with the Houstones because, like I said, I didn't bust though. I didn't have anybody to put money on my books. Only way you eat is if you steal somebody's shit, you hustle in there, or you put money on your commissary. Mean by money on your books, like so.
You mean they don't provide food for
the
inmates?
You eat 3 meals a day, but you'll starve on them 3 meals. I promise you. You ain't going. You will starve to death in that on them 3 meals, man. For real. It's barely like it's just enough to you think it's it's all profit driven, right? So what I'm saying, they're feeding you the bare minimum for you to survive, for real. You know what I mean? Like I remember like I'm telling you, like between meals, I'm in there like, oh my god, like before I learned how to hustle in there. Another story for another day, right? But really, like I said, on the third floor, there was a whole race riot because one of the this one dude came in and he kind of shook up the whole tank. He was starting extorting people, and it got wild. He started extorting the not the Houstones, they ain't play with them, but the south of the border Mexicans, like, because there's cliques everywhere in jail, right? There's like black people aren't all together. There's like Bloods over here and these niggas over there and these, what I'm saying. And with the Hispanics, it was like they were a lot more together, right? But there was still like south of the border Mexicans that speak Spanish, and like the Houstones were like, what I'm saying, they were like hood Mexicans, right? You know what I'm saying? They like, they listen to like Zero and rap music, right? And these guys listen to like da 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 da, they're like, it's true. That's what it was, right? So, but there was a whole race riot based on, because it's one dude, and I don't, whatever on this dude, right? You know what I'm saying? He started a whole race riot. They had the COs come, they call them turtles. They have these like shells. They literally have like chest plates, and they came in. Man, it was wild. You know what I'm saying? So after that, we all got displaced. The whole tank got, shipped everywhere. They didn't keep anybody in the tank. And so I went up to the 5th floor, 5F3, right? And 5F3, this ceilings were lower. And like I said, the higher you got, the more progressively younger they got, right? You know what I'm saying? So at 5F3, I was one of the older guys. And at this time, I think I just turned, I think I was 20 or 19, but I was one of the older cats in that tank. You know what I mean? There's other people older than me, but I was one of the older ones in that one, right? In the 5th floor.
So how long before this changed? Are you kind of getting a little, I don't know, experienced at?
Yeah. So the race riot,
this is
exactly.
This is all terrible.
It sucked. The race riot happened about 4 months into my stay, and mind you, this whole time is going. We call them. I call them pink slips. Like, so it's you get a reset paper. Like, like I told you, because I couldn't since I couldn't actually bail out or bond out. They come, they take you to court. Let's say they're like, okay, court's on Tuesday, and you're in jail. So on Tuesday, when Tuesday comes up, they take you out and you go to court. And how it worked was, you're like, if this is the courthouse, you sit in like a cell behind the courthouse, right? So I'm sitting in this cell behind the courthouse, and you don't see your lawyer for you're in there for like 6 hours, don't see your lawyer for 5 of them hours. You know what I'm saying? Then he finally comes out, and it's like already has reset papers in hand, or he might have some time for you. It's like, here's 12 years. Do you want to sign for that? You're like, hell no. And they're like, all right, well, here's your reset papers. You can go back to jail, and we'll come back and try it again. And that's the cycle, right? That's what happens. So,
oh my god.
And so, yeah, the first time I went to jail,
so you never had a conversation with the lawyer like a sit down, like at a desk, and you're like
No,
talking about
so if
options?
you think about it, I'm changing spot. So if you think about a desk, so what is, I know you see like in the movies where there's like glass in between, like the, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
it's so it's similar to that visitation. There's 3 holes. There's like a hole here, hole here, hole here. So there's 3. A lot of times it's 3 to 5. You know, there's lawyers, and it's I'm an inmate, and there's multiple inmates on this side, multiple lawyers on that side. So we try to yell at each other, talking through the hole, and you know, you can't really, for real, like you're trying to talk to your lawyer and there's 2 other guys over there and they, you know, like you're trying to like,
They're shouting too.
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
nothing's really getting done, you know what I'm saying, or getting discussed. So normally they just come back with them reset papers, you know what I mean? Like for me at least, in my experience, because I ain't have no, I was in there fucked, you know. I had no, it wasn't gonna bail out, right? It wasn't bonding out. So
Did you have a plan, or were you sort of thinking like, here's what I need to do? Or you're just like,
there's
I'm
nothing
at the mercy.
I couldn't do nothing. Like I had no information. The only information I had about my case came in from my lawyer, this guy who has 1,000 other cases. He's my, you know, this is my I'm so well,
Public defender.
public defender. Now, you know, and now that I think about it, I'm actually I did get lucky knowing Kirk. Kirk actually, since he actually knew the DA on my case or something like that, because you know I told you he's a lawyer.
Oh, that's right, because you had met Kirk like the previous year.
Exactly, I had met Kirk, and
was this a coincidence that you that he was the connection there? That was kind of a lucky coincidence.
Yeah, just so happened.
God, wow.
Just so happened. Okay. So I think you know, and you know, he was like, man. Now that I think back, you know, I gotta, man. You have no idea how much he helped me. I'm pretty sure he like, you know, was my reference of like, you know, hey, like if you have one person, you know, what I mean, like somebody, he was just that person that was like, hey, this kid's a good kid, you know, and that one cosign from, you know, to give me, you know, just give me a chance, an opportunity, right? I'm pretty, you know, I'm pretty sure that's what that was, and you know what I'm saying, and so.
Boy,
yeah, man.
I was really lucky that this guy that knew you had an intersection with your experience in jail to help you to give you a lifeline out. Without that connection, could have been.
And he could have. Well, he could have. Well, it's really props to him for not just abandoning me, because you know he could have seen me in jail and just been like, hey, you know, you're a criminal, not want anything to do with you, like a lot, like I had family do, you know what I'm saying, you know, not all my family, but I've had family do me like that, right? So you know what I'm saying, like, but he didn't do that, and I appreciate it, you know what I'm saying, like I said, he came to see me and was like, I'm gonna kick your ass when you get out, but come see me, you know what I mean, like, and it was like, damn, man, it meant the world to me, right? You know what I'm saying, because it's like, you know, what he's saying is, you know, you come see me, right? It means, you know, I'm not gonna give up on you, basically, right? We're still homies, and it meant the world. You know?
And if anybody is listening to this and did not hear episode 3, you told a good story about Kirk and your experience meeting him as the bus captain. So go back and listen to episode 3 if you hadn't heard it already.
Yeah,
it's right at the end. It's right at the end of episode 3. So if you didn't make it all the way through, you got to go back and listen to the whole thing.
Hell yeah.
But that was fun. That was a fun story. But anyway, okay. So Kirk, he's your lifeline.
He was a lifeline, but but in there, like, you know, there's no lifelines. It's just hard in jail, right? You know what I'm saying? Like there's, you know, and also mind you, in county jail, it's, anybody that really has been down knows, man. I wouldn't wish sitting in county on nobody, man. Like it's sometimes, a lot of times, worse than going to prison, because in prison you can go outside, you have a rec yard, you know what I'm saying, and I don't know how 701 San Jacinto is now, but back when I was locked up, there was none of that going out. You can't go. You're in the middle of downtown, you know, Houston. There's no going outside. You have no sunlight. I didn't feel sun on my skin for 2 years. You know what I'm saying? There's no going outside in there. You're just sitting in a cell, in a tank, should I say, with 42 other people. Because I never made it to a place with single man cells. I think they had single man cells, but I never made it to a tank with that. You know, like it was all bunk beds. It's like, you know, it was all just bunk beds, open, you know, big open space. And like I said, and it makes you. I had to grow up real quick. I had to learn how to, like, you know what I'm saying, read people really, really quick, you know what I'm saying, or really well too. Cause think about it, you know, like you can't escape when you're in jail. You can't escape anything, right? You know, you get a break from every part of life, right? Even if it's your kids, right? You know what I'm saying? You can sit in the bathroom and shit for 2 seconds, right? You know what I'm saying? If you could go home from work, you can go to work from home, right? If wherever you need a break, you know, you can walk away, right? There's none of that breaking shit in jail. There's no, like you're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it's hard to explain like until like literally like that third month. Like I don't know how to explain. It's just this weird feeling. I remember I remember a couple times where like I just felt so claustrophobic and so stuck. Like I almost like I was just like, man, I just need to get out and get some air. And it's just
you can't.
Yeah. It was just that moment, like, you know what I mean? Just a moment where you're just like, I just need a second to breathe. I was just like, I can't do that. I don't know. It's such a surreal, weird, like, it was terrible, man. It was real bad. And like I said, the people, like 24/7, there's guys trying to, everybody wants something from you, what I'm saying, if you have something. Does that make sense? Like, nothing comes for free. Ain't nobody trying to, there's always, an interaction. Like, you always gotta tell somebody's motives, right? If somebody's talking to you, there's usually a motive behind it. There's rarely ever just, even if it's just talking to you, sometimes, a dude might try and befriend you because, they want to go through your commissary bag, or, that you might offer them protection or something in their mind. Like, there's always something, right? And being in jail, like I said, like I got real good at reading people because of like I said, if you gotta read people in jail, if you can't, like you get caught slipping real bad, right? Like if you misjudge somebody, they're gonna steal from you or fuck you up, maybe, like, it's like it's it can get real cutthroat, right? And like I said, and even beyond just getting cutthroat, like I said, a lot of it is just being around people, not being able to escape people. You get to read people really well. And you gotta imagine with jail, like jail isn't meant for long term. Like, usually people like me are the outliers. There's always like a few people in every tank. Like I was that guy that's been there forever. Like I come, I know how to make crosses out of trash bags. I'm one of those guys, like, people come in and like, oh yeah, I can, know how to turn the hot pot into a burner. I can make, I know how to, make ink for tattoos. My first tat I ever got, this one on my arm. I got this in jail. This is when I was talking about the loot. 1511 through 32. I got this, I got this pick, this nigga just sat there, it's MS-13 dude, he was, funny story on that guy. It was in there for 2 capital murders. One of the nicest people I ever met in my life. True God, man, dude always had a smile on his face. Terrified me because of that, but yeah, no, always good mood, always share his food with me,
And so the 2 people he killed, he wasn't too nice to them, but
I don't, all I know is what he was charged with. All I know is what he was charged with. I don't know if he did it or not. I just know he was charged with 2 capital murders, and he was a very nice man to me. Didn't speak any English. Every time I see him, like, what's up, man? We call him MS because he was MS-13, and all he did was tattoo. That's how he made his money. He'd do tattoos in there, and he'd just be like, it's always it was his like he's always just smiling in there, chilling, man. I don't know, man. Different world, right? But
different world. And the one time you mentioned the guards, you seemed like they were always on steroids and
no, man. So there was 2 different slap-a-lots in that, so we called 2 different dudes slap-a-lot. And shout out anybody that knows, because there's the real slap-a-lot, which, the OG, like, I don't know if he's still, like I said, I haven't been in years, right? We called them slap-a-lot because they would slap the dog fuck out of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was kind of their favorite thing to do. And like, they were obviously roided up. Like you could see them come in the morning, white boys, their like arms are like pink from here, like from all the pumping and shit. And they walking in, can't even wipe their own ass. They just walking in like this, you know what I'm saying? Like legs skinny like mine, bro. Dead ass, you know what I'm saying? No leg work, skip all leg days, They were, that's how they were all, built, especially the white boys. That's how they were all built, man. And
so they just come in, they
roided out
by bullying the inmates because
they will fuck you up. Yeah, man. Like, so, and how you get, so I didn't even talk about going to the 7th floor. So in the 5th floor, long story short, dude tries to, dude tries to go in my commissary bag. Young boy, I tried to take on under my wing, but he didn't try to. He stole 2 of my soups. And I put my shoes on and said, let's go in the shoes. He went and ran, hit the button, which is a big ass no-no. You get out there and fight and take that L if you go to jail. It's way better than calling the goddamn guards, because don't do that. Don't call the guards, bro. Don't call the guards. You're more than likely you're not gonna die. And a lot of times they ain't gonna let you die in that hole. we all in this, so we ain't trying to catch no new cases, bro. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get your ass whooped. We're gonna pull them off you real quick. So you know what I'm saying? Like it's all good, right? Whatever. But that's neither here nor there, right? You know what I'm saying? But you know, you trying to be an accomplice to murder, nigga. You crazy? You know what I'm saying? Like we got you, you know. But you gonna get your ass whooped anyway. So this dude, instead of just taking that ass like a man, you know what I'm saying? He hit the button on me, you know what I'm saying? And of course they roll me up out of there because you know you're not supposed to fight. So I get kicked out the tank and I go to the 7th floor. And 7th floor, like I said, the Gladiator tank, 7F3. Jesus fucking Christ, man. Shout out Donnie though, man. There was the realest niggas. So I told you, that's where I got tatted. I met the MS. There was like the realest niggas I ever met, and some of the craziest. Like it was the craziest. Every night we got rolled. The rollers we called in. And who are those guys? It's just the guards who come in and shake you down, like trying to see if you have any contraband on you. Every night the rollers got called on us in there, and it was because they're young, you know what I'm saying? And young boys, they ain't trying to lay down, like, because when they call rack time, which is time to go to sleep. Rack time. Supposed to go lay the fuck down, or they're gonna call the rollers in there. And rollers gonna come pull y'all up out of it, pull us up out of there, make us all strip down to our fucking boxers. You know what I'm saying? Like it's humiliating. It's fucking terrible. I hate it. I hated getting rolled. You know what I'm saying? But in 7th floor, we got rolled every day. They come in, make us shake down our shit, and you can't really do anything. You get rolled because they search the whole place and take all contraband. You can't have tattoo ink in jail. They're gonna take all that shit, and you know it just fucks up the money. It fucks up the flow in the tank. You know what I'm saying? When we get rolled, so you can't really get nothing moving. You know what I'm saying? So it was terrible, man. Like the little bit of, you know, kind of trying to get a little bit of a break in the tank from, you know, being locked up. You can't get any of that going, right? Like even the hot pots, like, cause the hot pots, they're like, long story, like they're what you use to make food warm, but they only get lukewarm. You know what I'm saying? Like you can, you know, like people in jail are genius. Like dude taught me how to like rewire them so that they actually boil, make boiling hot water so you can actually really cook something, right? And that's contraband though. You can't do that. You're not supposed to do that. It's supposed to stay. It's supposed to just only get how it comes, that lukewarm ass bullshit. You know, if you make it a boiler, they consider contraband and they take it from you, get in trouble, you get LOP, which is loss of privileges. Like it was just, you know, like I say, it was degrading, humiliating. It was terrible. You know what I'm saying? Just being in jail. And I was like, fuck this. I ain't never coming back. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I was like, I ain't. Man, like I said, because the first time they sat me down, they sat me the fuck down. You know what I'm saying? It was like, you're gonna sit down, you're gonna sit this out for a little while, right? And I was like, all right. And
well, yeah, man. Like for you, that experience, one of your takeaways was like, I am not coming back here again.
Yeah.
And you did have the lifeline thrown to you from Kirk, but a lot of the guys that you were surrounded by, they didn't have any lifeline, and maybe they were in there for not the first sit, but their second, third sit. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, definitely. Like I definitely got super lucky with Kirk, man. Cause like when I got out of jail, like I said, he put me in an apartment and, you know, gave me up my first, like he paid the first month's rent, you know, put me in an apartment and was like, all you need to do, find a job and keep going. And that's what I did. Right. You know what I'm saying? And who the fuck gets an opportunity like that, right? You know what I'm saying? So that's, you know, most dudes, they don't have an opportunity like that. Like they have to go, you know, they get out and they're either staying with like their mom or saying they probably meet, you know, trying to, you know, get some independence from her. Cause, you know, you stay with family. Like, remember I told you about, you know, there's different class, you know, black people because of how society treats, they demonize, you know, niggas, you know what I'm saying? Like if black people are associated with, you know, what they consider like the even lower class blacks, like they don't, you know, they don't fuck with that, right? They're like, oh, I don't want to, you know, oh, you're, you know, so, you know, family will cut you off too. So, you know, if a dude gets cut off by his mom or something, I mean, niggas be, you know, it's a lot. It's not like you have very many options. And then let's say if you're really from the streets, you have like a country accent. What's if you really do want to change your life? But the only place you probably get hired, remember, you know, let's say if you didn't get your driver's license, you can't go drive for nobody. And you know, you don't speak well enough to, you know what I'm saying? Not even well enough, but you don't speak the same code as white people to be able to go do, you know, work at a bank or some bullshit. So what do you know what I'm saying? You working like as a dishwasher, or, you know what I'm saying? You're stuck at the dishwasher part, or you're stuck, you know, in the back of house, you know, work in the kitchen, you know what I'm saying? So nobody can see you and talk to you because that's what white people do. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you know, it's you get pigeonholed into a corner, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like, and nobody's stupid. Black people, we ain't stupid. Like, my niggas is not finna, if you ask my niggas, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, what would you rather do? Or you know, saying, I understand it's you know, it's harder, but you should go make, you know, $7.25 an hour flipping burgers for 12 hours a day, you know, that, and that's the way to make it forward. I promise you, you'll be, Get the fuck out my face, that dumb shit. Do I look stupid? No. No. That's not how. We all know the truth of how the real world works. That's not how you make it. You know what I'm saying? Life's about risks right now, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you can see, even on the internet, we reward the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, terrible behavior is rewarded. You know what I'm saying? Acting an ass is rewarded, and not just in my culture. This is American culture, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, we like, and that's, I don't know, man. So,
well, like, and we got we talked about 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Yeah.
Even when you're out of jail, then you've got probation to. Did you ever get to a place where you were sentenced, or the judge was like, "Okay, you've been here 2 years. We'll just start probation now"?
Well, I finally so what that was when I first got it depends on what they offer you. So when my first offer was like, and they try to get you, I think it's
12 years.
No, my first offer was closer to like I think it was the maximum. My first offer was the maximum they could sentence me to, and I don't want to talk about exactly what I was charged with or nothing, but it was a lot. Let's put it like that. You know what I'm saying? So it was close to like 20 years or something. And I was like, of course, break down, tearing up and shit. That was the first offer. The judge, like, I mean, not judge, the lawyer's like, you don't have to take this. We can reset. You don't have to sign for that. You can take the shit to trial if you want, right? And I was like, all right, bet, fuck that. I'm not signing for 12. I'm not signing for 20 plus years, right? So then the more I went, they just would slowly lower what they were offering me, if that makes sense. Like, went from 20 to this. Then, a couple times they didn't even offer anything. You know what I mean? I went back there and my lawyer just came back with the reset paper, like, all right, judge, there was no, you just got to go. You come back, 3 months from now is your next court date. And that's why I was sitting there for so long, because they would reset. It's not like your court date would be reset like till the next weekend. The next weekend it'd be like when I first got locked up, when I first sat down in county, my first court date was like, the next day, right? That's usually how it works. And then the court date after that, the second one, that's after, you talk to the judge, get everything understood. It was like about a week after that, right? Then after that, the next court date was 3 months later. So I have to wait 3 months in jail unless I bail out for my next court date. Then possibly you can get out at your next court date. Maybe if the judge, it was another 3 months. You know what I'm saying? I got reset, and then I had to sit there and wait for that.
That's why next thing you know, it's 2 years. 2 years.
Yeah, just saying.
I know you as a likable guy, fun guy. we have a good time
for the most part.
For the most part, yeah. When you're in jail, do people like you, or are you telling?
Yeah, I'm that nigga. Don't play with me. Yeah, I mean, no. So So it all depends. No, it all depends, man. I got
popular,
right? And no, so I don't want to make it sound like I'm just that dude. Like nobody plays with me. You know what I'm saying? But like genuinely, like like I told you, I got into one fight. That was, in my opinion, like I kind of, initiated, with this Reverend dude, Rev Red, you know what I'm saying? Like I got into a fight with the Reverend. Yeah, man. Wild, huh? But he was a swole ass nigga. He was a swole ass, big ass dude, man. You better watch out with Red, man. Red ain't gonna play,
Rev
right?
in for?
Rev Red. I don't even remember, man. What's funny is he had came from prison, like, cause while he was serving time in prison. And then when it's time for him to get out of prison, he had another charge pending. So they sent him straight to the county. To wait for that, you know what I'm saying? Which I hate the system, man. But anyway, so he went from prison back to the county to probably go back to prison for something totally different again. You know what I mean? But whatever. So but yeah, man, he was the Reverend of the tank. He was, I guess he found Jesus, whatever, and working out because he was fucking huge. He was like, say, he was fresh out the pen for real, right? You know what I'm saying? Didn't even make it to the free world, So, but out to the story of why I fought him is kind of hilarious and crazy, but I don't feel like getting into it. So. We'll get into another day. It's a long one.
Maybe
it's
an
a long
after
one.
Party or something.
Yeah, definitely. Check out the after party. I'll tell that story, man. It's crazy. But
okay.
Yeah, so like when it comes to like the way you behave in there, I was the same way I am now. Like a lot less knowledgeable than I am now, right? But still the same energy as far as like, because when I went to jail, like I had I was just like on some I was just like, this is bullshit. Kind of the same energy I have now. Like I was like, man, this is bullshit, man. Fuck all that. I would talk to, matter of fact, I would talk to the youngsters in the gladiator tank. And I'd be like, y'all, we don't have to like get rolled tonight, y'all. Look, you know what I'm saying? Look, y'all, let's just shut the fuck up for like the first 5 minutes. Then when them niggas chill, man, we go back to do what we need to do. Y'all keep getting us rolled. We can't get no money flowing in here. We can't get, you know what I'm saying? We can't, you know, niggas is trying to get tatted up by this cold ass, you know, MS is eventually going to prison. You know what I'm saying? We don't get hit by him now. He's gone, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how I'm literally making these cases to people. Yeah, that's how, you know, that's how I be.
Think.
Yeah. And, you know, of course niggas ain't always gonna listen. You know, some niggas like, you know, like, I don't know, you could, you know, there's some niggas that just don't give a fuck and just, you know, and some people just want to see the world burn, right? You know what I'm saying? On they Joker shit, you know, it's a thing, you know? Some people like, I don't care about none of that shit. We can fight. I don't care about nothing. Fuck everybody and everything, right? And then some dudes was just like, you know, like I was in there for a while though. That's why. Like,
what is it? There's a song you probably don't know, but my crowd will know it. It's it was written by Chris Christopherson, kind of a country singer, but Janis Joplin has the version of it that everybody knows, and it's me and Bobby McGee. But there's a line in the song. It says, "Freedom is just another word for nothing left to lose." And that's you know they had nothing left to lose at all, so they were free to
do what the fuck,
go in any direction they wanted to, if it was mayhem or something
building, right?
Direction.
Yeah, man. So jail it's like I said, it's some of the most, jail is one of the weirdest places ever, because you know, like there's a saying we have in the hood. It's like, you know, saying all the real niggas either dead or in jail. I telling you it's true. You know what I'm saying? I swear to you it's true. All the real niggas either dead or in jail, man. And you know, like some of the most stand up, honest, like you know, real dope dudes I ever met is still gone. You know what I'm saying? They still
Are
locked
you
down.
In touch with anybody from that time?
Yeah, for sure. Like on like the people I check for, like on my Facebook, my Instagram, like the only people I really like, if I'm on there, scroll through and I see their name or some pop up, I go on their shit and I actually look through what they're doing, is the niggas I know from jail. And to be honest with you, the people that are doing the best, like I know from the hood, like people I grew up with, like I went to high school with, you know, I'm not trying to play nobody like they're not doing well, but all the niggas I was locked up with, they're all doing way better than niggas I was, you know, went to high school with, which is funny, right? Which is an interesting thing to think about. But, you know, like I told you, life's about risks, man. You know, like it really, it's kind of sad to say and be honest, but that's the world we created. You know, the more risks you take, the more, you know, it's like we set it up to be a gamble, you know what I'm saying, for your future, you know what I'm saying? Like that's how it works, you know, and the risk takers are the ones who are winning right now, unfortunately, you know, or fortunately, however you look at it, right? So,
right.
Yeah.
And when we talk about 1 foot in, 1 foot out, that's just you're never completely free from it because of all the bullshit rules and probations and everything that
man, like it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? So if you think about it, you know, black communities are over policed, right? So of course that means you're gonna get locked up, you know what I'm saying, because you're already over policed. It's already a poor area. It's a poor area, so it's being policed more because of crime. Then they're gonna get locked up and then come out and not have opportunity, and then go right back to that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just you're kind of like, you know, borderline forced into it, you know, a situation where it's like, what else am I supposed to do? And it's like, you know, and it's just such a false dichotomy that for people to like. A lot of people I know, like I said, I know guys, good dudes. I'm talking like I know dudes. I was locked up with dudes where it's just, you know, yeah, they've probably done wrong, you know what I'm saying? But I you know, some people, you know, and you can't hide who you are in jail. That's something I learned big time, right? Because you're in there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with other people, right? So you can only hide who you are for so long in jail. After a while, whatever that is in you, whether it be the bitch in you, the real nigga in you, whatever that is, deep down inside your soul, it will be exposed, you know what I'm saying? You can't hide that for too long, you know what I'm saying, right? You're going to get tested or something. Something's going to happen where all that shit, you know what I'm saying, you're going to have to stand on what you say, right? And like I said, man, like in so doing that, it's an interesting experience, right? Because like, you know, I truly believe, like I know to this day, I feel like I know some of them dudes better than I know my girl right now, right? You know what I'm saying? Because there was they couldn't, you know, there's no escape. You know what I'm saying? There was no escape. Right. I see them every day, all day. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, some dudes, it's like you know, and it gives you this weird ability, especially the, you know, and it's jail's a revolving door. There's, you know, new people leaving every day, people coming every day, leaving every day, you know, coming every day, right? And you start seeing patterns in people and like stories people tell and like the type of, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you get to kind of tell, like, you know, you start to develop archetypes for people. It's like, oh, you one of them, you know what I mean? Like kind of, and it works. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's a thing, you know, people like, this is something I learned from a woman, actually, you know what I'm saying? She used to, and well, this one chick, she's one of the homegirls, and she basically was just like, really, she was just she was kind of playing me now I think about it, but it was true. You know, when I took what she said to heart, and I thought about it, I was like, you really spitting some knowledge over here. You know what I'm saying? But she was just like, you know, she's kind of capping on me saying like how all niggas talk the same. It's like, you know, all dudes always say the same shit, and you know, this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? Like we all sound the same and do the same shit. And I thought about that and I took that serious. I was like, I don't think she's bullshit. I don't think that's just some shit to say. And I was like, what if that's true? You know what I'm saying? I think it is true. I think, you know, niggas think they unique and say, you know, or you know, it's all the same shit. You know what I'm saying? There's different archetypes for guys. Like there's, you know, you're either this kind of guy that talks like this, you're either wooing or you're, you know what I'm saying? Or you're a dick about it, or you know what I'm saying? There's right. General categories you could throw people into, you know what I'm saying? As far as their approach to certain, you know, and this is, and in jail, you kind of, if you don't do that, you'll just be extorted, and it's kind of the name of the game. You know what I'm saying? Especially like somebody like me, like even I got into the extortion towards the end business of, I mean, like the thing was, you know, one of these dudes was kind of acting like a hoe and, you know what I'm saying, tried to go on my commissary bag. So I started extorting his ass. I was like, okay, yeah, I can, you know, now you gonna bust stove for me, right? You know what I'm saying? I want them fucking honey buns. I want a ice cream, nigga. For real. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and, you know, that's one of those things like, it's real survival of the fittest type stuff in jail, man. But there's also, you know, but if you have heart, if you have heart, you get some love. Like now, for example, there's this Hispanic dude, Carlos, man. Shout out Los, man. This skinny ass, short ass Hispanic kid, you know what I'm saying? From the, you know, little hood Hispanic kid got locked up on some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Of course, because he little, some niggas ran in his commissary bag, took some of his stuff. He was like, where's my shit? Nah, fuck that. So we can fight, you know what I'm saying? Dude, of course, nobody's scared of this small ass Mexican, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, the dude was like, I took it. What's up? He was like, what's up then? He put on his shoes. Little Carlos walked out there, got beat the fuck up, man. But right after that, man, everybody on the tape was like, I said, all right, we got him. He's on, you know, that's what we talking about. You know, we was hyped. Like, yeah, you got out there. No, you good. Nobody got caught up or nothing. He was like, yeah, we got you, bro. It's all good. Nobody went in his bag after that. I promise you. He got, you know, this respect that. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, you got heart. You know, say he got out there. He got it. Everybody knew about to get his ass whooped. The dude that, you know what I'm saying? There was no, it was no, him. Yeah, exactly. We all knew. He didn't care, no hesitation. Threw his shoes on. What's up? Let's do this. You know what I'm saying? Win, lose, or draw, you're going to respect my mind, right? It's like, all right, all right, we'll do that then. You know what I'm saying? Bet, you know? And it was all love from that point. Like, you know, it's that kind of like, you know, there's more noble, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's more noble shit in the street life, you know what I'm saying, that people don't give it credit for, you know what I'm saying? There is still honor among thieves to a certain extent, right? You know what I'm saying? People like to pretend like it's not, only when it comes to black people, right? Because I've given this analogy before. If you look at, you know, movies like Casino or Goodfellas or Donnie Brasco, I could go on all day, right? You know what I'm saying? What do all these movies have in common? You know, they're dealing with white gangs, literally. The Mafia, the Godfather, the Irish mob, you know, like these mob Irishman. Movies. Yeah, exactly. Irishman. These mob movies are you know, exalted in white communities right there. And don't get me wrong, I love Martin Scorsese. To be honest with you, Goodfellas is my favorite movie of all time. No lie, I love that gangster shit, right? You know what I'm saying? But, you know, in white media, you all can, you know what I'm saying, you all can see a negative like this gang life and be able to separate, okay, they're doing terrible things, but also there's nuance to it, right? There were also good family men like Sopranos, right? He was a good family man, you know what I'm saying? Even though he was a goddamn murderer, and it made it interesting. It's one of the greatest shows ever, right? You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Godfather, right? You know what I'm saying? There's, you know, there was loyalty, there was respect, there was honor, you know what I'm saying? And when people were breaking those codes, you know what I'm saying? There was, you know, there was a romanticizing of that, you know what I'm saying, of that lifestyle. But when it comes to black people, black gang life, it's just all negative, even from black people though, right? And that's where for me, I'm like, nah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, you know, even the upper echelons of black community are still, you know, still point, you know, turn their noses down on black, you know, on the black gang life, which, like I said, the negative aspects, obviously negative, right? But, you know, why can't we, you know, recognize the positives, you know what I'm saying, those elements of, you know, saying honor, you know what I'm saying, respect, you know what I'm saying, like keeping your head up, chest out. Like, I've taken those elements out from the, you know, streets, from what I've learned in jail, going hard and stuff, and I've transposed them in other parts of my life and shine because of it, right? Easily shine on people. Like that whole, like, you know, from the streets, I learned, you know, that kind of take initiative. That's hood niggas all day taking initiative. What you want me to go? What house? What we running into? What we gonna do? Bet I got you. I'm that nigga. I got it. Right? You know what I'm saying? That's, you know, that's what we want to be, that first thing. I'm gonna run in the house. I'm gonna hit that nigga first. I'm gonna do that first. Initiative, we have that, right? You know what I'm saying? And I could take it into any other aspect, or, you know what I'm saying, or any other industry because of that, right? You know what I'm saying? And we just, you know, and that's just one example, right? There's so many things that, you know, the culture, the community has that, you know, saying on top of the negative, all we choose to do, even as black people, is focus on negative. Even though, like I said, I love my niggas, bro. I've seen some of, like I said, some of the dopest dudes, like some of the most honest, you know what I'm saying? Like I see some dudes, like, you know, sacrifice a lot, man. Yeah, they see, you know, some dudes just trying to sacrifice their whole freedom to feed kids and stuff. It's like, yeah, you wouldn't do that. I know. Yeah. You wouldn't do that. I can tell, you know what I'm saying? You go, but he's doing it, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's, you know, like, you know, I don't know, man. I think it's, you know, I just, I don't know. My niggas eat their roses, right? You know, so.
Yeah, no, this is all interesting stuff. I didn't, you know, this is kind of a heavy episode, you might say. Getting in real, getting in deep with some of these uncomfortable topics. So I appreciate you, you know, sharing your stories and
definitely, man,
and having, you know, having these perspectives to offer that you're not going to find anywhere else that I know of. So
yeah, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate, you know, us, you know, us having a platform to be able to do this, man. It means a lot to me, man, because I feel like I said, even in my community, it's kind of it's a very interesting thing, even in my community, right? You know, like the, you know, the what it is, you know, it's kind of scapegoating, in my opinion, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I watched, there was I can't remember exactly. Oh, so there's an anime called Attack on Titan. And shout out to anybody that knows about that anime. It's dope, right? But so this, if you haven't watched it, if you know, if you want to get into anime, I don't know, it might be a little much for you, Gary. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
it's good. It's really good though. I think you might like it. You might like it. I don't know. It's on Titan. Titans. It's wild. Oh man, y'all, I'm gonna get. Hey, if I get him watching it, man, I'm the GOAT. I'm just saying. All right, but no. So Attack on Titan. So long story short, there's a group of people that's kind of treated like niggas in the story, right? You know what I'm saying? The main group of people are the black people of this world on Attack on Titan, and they're kind of just, they're everybody's scapegoats, right? And even the same group of people, like, so for example, what happened is they separated this group of people onto an island. Just give a quick backstory on it. They separated this group of people on an island, and because they're terrible and the details aren't important, whatever, they're over here, and this is the mainland, all the other groups of people, and they all demonize these people, but there's still small patches of this group of people, let's call them black people, that live on the main island. And the group of people on the main island that are still the same as these people demonize that group. And they say, hey, we're not evil. It's not all of us. It's just the ones on that island that are evil, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We're the good ones. And that's exactly what black people do now. Like, you know what I'm saying? The black people and at the top, they're just like, no, we're the good ones. Those niggas, you know what I'm saying, killing and stealing, those are the bad ones. Those are bad. That's bad. This is bad, you know? And it's just like, for me, I'm like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? Where's the nuance and, you know what I'm saying, like the socioeconomic parts of it, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I guarantee you, bro, I know my niggas, bro. If you ask my nigga, here's this crack rock, here's this job, flipping burgers for $21 an hour, what would you rather do? I guarantee you, he'd be like, all I gotta do is flipping burgers for what? Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, let's move it. You know what I'm saying? Who wants to be in the street, moving work, possibly, you know what I'm saying, get robbed, shot, all this shit, you know what I'm saying? Well, if I'm getting paid, you know, enough where I know I can pay my bills, you know what I'm saying, save up, maybe get something to floss with, you know what I'm saying, do whatever I need to do over here, you know what I'm saying? But we ain't stupid is the thing, you know what I'm saying? I'm not, my niggas ain't finna, you're not finna get them work at $7.25 an hour when I know I can, you know what I'm saying, sell this work and make $300 in what, you know what I'm saying, 2-3 hours maybe, you know what I'm saying? Suck a dick. I'm going over here, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how, that's how, you know, and I don't blame them, you know? So, you know, I don't know. It's wild. Yeah.
Well, we should wrap up episode 4.
Hell yeah, man.
Just want to always make sure people know MartyandtheBro.com is your resource for all things Marty and the Bro. And we do hope that you will check out the Join the Co-op page. And if you've not already become part of the Marty and the Bro Co-op, please join at any amount above 0. And if you want to self-identify as a co-signer, then please end your sign-up amount with a 5, anything 15 or above, and we'll know that you want to be counted as a co-signer. With that, it's been interesting, a little bit heavy, but
yeah,
but
it's all good.
Glad to. It's. I mean, it's so much of who you are today is informed by your experiences, be they good, bad, or ugly.
Yeah.
And I guess that's true for everybody.
Mm.
But your perspectives on what it's like will hopefully someday allow those conversations to find the right people that can actually help improve the circumstances, or maybe just you and I together talking can reduce the level of racism in this country by a degree, half a degree, a point
Hopefully.
0.001 of a degree, something.
Hopefully something, man. Yeah, man. But yeah,
Hopefully
it's always a pleasure talking to you too, man. And you know the deal with me, man. I can't wait to turn these lights off. It's crazy how hot it gets, bro. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
Like, yo, you like what you just saw? Make sure you like, share, subscribe, so the algorithms can algorithm or whatever sorcery they do. Follow us on our socials. Links all down in the description. And let's keep rocking.